Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Web3 Founders Real Talk. We are here to bring you a very candid conversation with the movers and shakers of the industries. Today, we're thrilled to have a very special guest on the show, Joe, the founder of EthStorage and the first place winner of EDCON 2023 Super Demo. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everybody. It's my great pleasure to be here to introduce EthStorage.
Welcome to the show, and thank you so much for coming. Joe, would you mind telling us a little bit about yourself and your project?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Qi Zhou. I'm the founder of EthStorage and also Web3 Access Protocol. I joined the crypto space full-time in 2018. Before that, I was a software engineer at Facebook, Google, EMC Dell, and also have PhD from Georgia Tech. So my previous work was primarily focusing on infrastructure. So when I entered into Web3 space, I found this huge room to improve the Web3 infrastructure. That's why I have spent most of time in Ethereum infrastructure, especially like like data availability, dank sharding, and also layer 2 technologies. So layer 2 EthStorage is perhaps the first storage rollups for Ethereum, so that we are able to satisfy the storage requirements, especially those high value data on top of Ethereum. So it's building on top of Ethereum data availability technology, especially EIP4844. That is the major upgrade of the Ethereum in the next Cancun upgrade. So I'm very happy to be here to share more about EthStorage and what we're building and how we're able to enable new applications on top of Ethereum.
Thank you for sharing. Well, our first question would be what kind of factors led your team to prioritize the development of EthStorage? Since you mentioned that you guys are aiming to build a storage rollup on the Ethereum platform, we would like to know, why did you guys, establish the project in the first place?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So the original motivation of EthStorage was about 2 years ago. At the time, there's hype of NFT. So AYC, Azuki, CryptoPunks. So at the time, our team did some investigation on all those projects. And so we are quite surprised that even those NFTs, each one picture can take more than 10 Ether. That is right now is more than 10,000 US dollar. But the actual image itself is storing on the third party, like Filecoin, Army, and all centralized servers, which means that those images can disappear anytime. So this motivates us to say, hey, as the center of the Web3 infrastructure, like for example, Ethereum, and we need some infrastructure to help to store those data more secure, and also do not worry about disappearing any day. And so the users can not only own this corresponding NFT, the ID like ERC721, but also corresponding images or this raw data belongs to the user. So that's the beginning idea of the EthStorage. And so we have figured out how we are able to build the solution to solve this problem. And we also get to found that Ethereum itself is moving towards some fundamental protocol upgrades, then the data availability to allow to solve this problem fundamentally. So we are happy to be able to participate in the basically the roadmap of Ethereum. Both, for example, we received 2 grants from Ethereum Foundation to support this work, and also get the first place at EDCON Super Demo.
Yeah, that's very impressive. And you guys identify the pain points that, that all those riskiness of centralized storage. So that's why you guys came up with the, well, we want to do some sort of like decentralized storage. We want to change we really want to make the difference. Well, and you mentioned that you have been dedicated to building infrastructure. So that's the next question would be for builders. So, well, I would say in such a dynamic industry, how did you navigate the volatility and the fluctuations within this, environment as a builder? like, did you face any sort of pushback or resistance while building your project? What kind of strategy did you employ to ensure like, stability and maintain the progress while developing your project? I think that's the constant struggle for everyone.
Yes, of course. Like take like example, NFT 2 years ago that was super hard these days. But with recent some events and also the crash of the, for example, FTX exchange and Terror. So the hype of the whole Web3 is like become NFT it's become much cooler versus 1 or 2 years ago. So people are asking what can we build on top of Web3 and what's the future. A lot of people asking what's the future, what are the new applications. One thing I feel is like we are doing things from more strategic long-term perspective. So we are thinking about what should we do or what the whole industry should in the next 5 or 10 years. For example, we can imagine Ethereum is a world computer, and sometimes I would say jokingly that Ethereum previously or right now the capacity is more like a world calculator because the computational power is too low. But once we solve all these infrastructure problems, both in terms of storage and also the computational power, like more TPS, then we are able to basically perform most of current Web2 applications on top of Web3, and at the same time, bring the Web3 values to all the internet users, just like the internet brings to the users at the time there's no internet, there's no cell phone, but now most of people now can easily enter into Web3, internet, enjoy all the benefits that internet can offer. So this is the greater vision that in the long-term perspective, we firmly believe that should happen. And we also firmly believe that our technical skills can contribute part of this big picture. Then that goes to the second is how to identify our expertise. Because like the Web3 is so dynamic, there's so many new technologies and new ideas come up. And so we have to figure out what are the differentiator beyond our technical expertise. And since I was an infrastructure engineer, have been working in these places for more than 10 years with all these kinds of solutions, understanding this area. So with all this accumulate knowledge in this specific area, so we have confidence that we are able to solve this problem in this couple of years. So this is basically two, I would say, from big direction perspective, how we convince ourselves first that we can stay in this industry, we can make it better, we can especially from our contributions.
Yeah, I can tell you guys are definitely a bunch of firm believers of the industry, and also you have a major alignment on the missions, and so that's why that you're not gonna get all those distractions from the industry, from all those like training topics. And I do feel like sometimes as an entrepreneur, we need to be able to identify the train, like which train will actually benefit your project. So yeah, it's definitely really complicated, and I'm happy to see like you guys are doing so well. Well, we mentioned a lot of we do mention some names in the beginning. Like they're also working on this amazing decentralized storage sector. So we would like to know, are there any specific advantage or like unique differentiator of your project that really set it apart from other storage solutions such as Filecoin, Arweave? Can you give us a quick walkthrough?
Yes. So first of all, we do not want to be like a competitor, say, hey, we want to kill any like a project like Filecoin Arweave. What we want to do is how we are able to build more add-on values to the existing, for example, decentralized storage market. So and so for Filecoin Arweave, they are from their system design architecture, they are more designed for static, and sometimes we call the cold storage. So that the data can be upload, a large amount of data can be uploaded to the decentralized storage, but they are less frequently to be, for example, modified or delete. For example, Army is not allowed to delete the data. EthStorage is doing a different market sector, but which we also believe is becoming more and more important. That is the high value hot storage data that can be modified, can be frequently modified, can be frequently deleted, can be frequently added, but the users using a smart contract logic, so that we are able to use a smart contract to program those large data, and at the same time be able to enable a lot of new applications that Falcon already they are not so good at. So this is the first major unique feature that EthStorage is offering. The second is EthStorage, as its name is highly integrated with Ethereum, so that the users can just using existing wallets, so that they are able to interact with all the applications that build on top of EthStorage. It can be MMT, it can be, for example, decentralized social network, it can be decentralized gaming. So we want to minimize the user barriers to enter to harvest the benefits of EthStorage. They only need also Ether to pay the storage fee, and also definitely transaction fee and wallet. And from developer perspective, they only need to familiar with the Ethereum developer stack, including smart contracts, Solidity, Truffle, Waffle, all these libraries, tools, and they are able to build applications on top of EthStorage. So this is the two major differences that we are now motivate us to build EthStorage and be able to feel, we believe there's a missing pieces in the decentralized industry, and so that we are able to build more wonderful applications on the top of that.
Wow, it sounds like you guys are like trying to lower the barrier for users, like for individual users and also the developers. Can you elaborate on this like permissionless nature of the storage layer 2 network? Like how does it enable like individuals like us with a really minimum storage requirement to become one of the storage providers?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So right now, actually, not only for the storage providers, but also for a lot of like layer 1 projects, people are asking about a lot of question about permissionless, especially the Ether becomes staker, you have to have at least 32 Ether. And as I know, for Filecoin RV to become a storage provider, in general, they have a very powerful machine with very high expensive GPUs and also a large storage. And that is something that we believe we should do something that make it better. So from EthStorage, at the beginning, we were designed for be able to allow commodity PC, that is, for example, my laptop, even my laptop or my desktop at my home is able to become a node and be able to host corresponding data, as long as it has a minimum storage capacity, like 4 terabytes, then it's able to become a storage provider and serve the corresponding data and collect corresponding storage fee that the user that are paid to our storage smart contract. And with that, we believe we are able to encourage more users or storage providers to offer much better censorship resistance or more decentralization, so that we can keep the much better, Alexandria library, because Alexandria library was destroyed because it's a single point of failure, but now we have more powerful decentralized Alexandria library around the world. And that is something that excites us to build this whole solution.
Yeah, I mean, well, on top of your point, I'm actually personally I'm having another question. So, because I do see the product offering, and there's one thing that it was actually quite shocking to me, because definitely we're like with Ether storage, we're able to achieve like really high storage capacity goal while reducing storage cost to a really remarkable 1/1000 times. Well, personally, I'm just curious, are there any like trade-offs or like limitations associated with this approach? Because, you know, sometimes you just have to like there's no like win-win situation sometimes in crypto world. So how does it work?
Oh, nice. Yeah. So this must work with fundamental technology improvement. And the most important improvement is building on top of Ethereum data availability layer. As we know, data availability is a very, very super hot topic these days. And so Ethereum is doing dank throttling. There's a couple of other ideas last year. And this perhaps, I would say, the next major protocol layer one feature that I would say all the layer one will gradually support. So thanks to these technologies, we are able to significantly reduce the data upload cost. So basically, we need to upload the data to the decentralized network in a public way, which means that no one is able to stop me from uploading the data, even centralized governments. So that is a very, very important big breakthrough, and where Ethereum right now aims to increase this performance to 10 times or even 100 times. This brings a significant value, a significant cost reduction of publishing a large amount of the user storage data, like images, front ends, or some of my tweets or articles on top of Ethereum network. And so this is something, so first of all, this is not built by us, but we also receive a grant from Ethereum Foundation to help them to make it possible as fast as possible. Everybody is eager to know how to be able to enable it, how to use it. For example, you are also published libraries to support the EP09. But this is the fundamental technology improvement that enable how we are able to enable this significant storage cost reduction on top of Ethereum.
I think that's exactly what we were just talking about, that we want to identify what kind of things could actually benefit your project, like the way we leverage this amazing technology that, you know, actually brings by, you know, it doesn't really matter who brought this technology. It's just like a matter like how the way we digest this technology to our product. So that's really amazing. And also in the first question, like in the first beginning, you talk about we actually made a lot of integrations with Ethereum because we built on top of Ethereum and we want to be more compatible with Ethereum stacks. Also, you guys made integrations with EVM. So I think that's something that we, well, really don't see a lot in sectors. And how does like EthStorage seamlessly interact with the EVM, and also what kind of implications does this integrations have, you know, on the overall functionality and performance of your project?
Yes. So for the interaction with EVM, that requires corresponding protocol upgrade, but that is not, that is still Ethereum DA. So for example, the first major main feature of enable this is called EIP4844, which a little bit more technical perspective, it introduced new feature to the Ethereum so that it can allow the EVM to access a value called data hash, while the corresponding data is not available in the EVM, but is available in the whole Ethereum network. So this abstract out the corresponding data so that the data hashes is offered to the EVM. Nobody is able to forge the data hashes. Everybody, when the smart contract process the transaction with the hashes, the smart contract, we know that corresponding data is available somewhere in the network and is guaranteed by the Ethereum security. And that is a very, very important upgrade. Although I know a lot of people may confuse the technical details. Yeah, but the thing is like it magnifies the data that is able to upload to the Ethereum, so that instead of tells everybody what the data it is, because that will be super slow, and like a gossip, like I spread all this, like broadcasting all this information. I just spread a very short digest telling that the data is available to everybody, and then I tell them that if you really need this data, go to those validators, who are responsible for the data. It's kind of like now we have different departments, like Department of Treasury, Department of the Justice, and say, hey, if you have something that you need this data, go to these departments, and they are guaranteed to offer the corresponding data to everyone. So that now we kind of like building more, I would say, hierarchy of dedicating this data to those people rather than broadcasting all this large amount of data to everybody. And that is how we improve the corresponding efficiency, as how our human organization is doing. Like when we have a small tribe, everybody can just discuss on to everybody. But now we have more a town, a country, then we need to do more kind of a thing to separate these different roles, and that is precisely called data sharding. So sharding is like separate these roles to data to different storage objects from different validators. And so that is how Ethereum solve this problem, and this is how also our humans solve this problem, scalability problems. Yeah.
Well, that's a lot of information to process, I have to admit, because I'm not a technical person, but I think that's the fact I can get from your amazing explanation is actually we're able to make more interactions with the smart contracts directly now. So it would definitely lower the barrier, easier for users, for developers, and also you guys reduce the cost. So that's why thank you for calling out all those three major features. And I think everyone and all those listeners today would have better ideas on your projects. And then let's just talk about the future, like the vision, because we all aware of there are actually a really notable impact, such as collaborations had on Arweave and the Solana during the previous bull cycle. Well, is there a roadmap for upcoming collaborations with other layer ones, with other with other chains, with other ecosystems, considering that's something we witnessed before, and we were just thinking if you guys would do the same thing?
Yeah. So definitely we are open to collaborations to all the layer ones. One thing is it relies on data availability technologies on corresponding layer. And unfortunately, most of the layer ones, they don't have such feature either like in their roadmap, or like they plan say some feature to enable it. So this makes our a collaboration to be a little more difficult. But the first of all, EthStorage is a modular storage layer, which means that as long as there's a UVM, and as long as there's a DA to reduce storage cost, then you can run it on top of any blockchain, even on layer 2, like layer 2, Optimism, Arbitron, they are running pretty well on layer 2, and then small layer 2 are coming. And EthStorage definitely can also run it on top of these layer 2s with further storage cost reduction. And so this is some direction that right now, besides deploying only Ethereum layer 1 with the corresponding with the EIP 4844 upgrade, that is something that we are working hard to build to like enable more applications, much lower storage cost. For example, currently we are preparing for the fraud proof of the Optimism. The Optimism is lack a lot of people complain like Optimism because they don't have fraud proof at this moment. And so so we are think about how we are able to using our technologies to enable the fraud proof on top of the optimism. We are also enable corresponding DA layer on top of the optimism. And also this fraud proof is optimized using our ZK technologies that we build together with EthStorage. So there's a lot of exciting things on the infrastructure level should be solved, so that we truly believe with the scalability in current computational power of Ethereum, and also the storage power offered by EthStorage, we can build a lot of applications originally that is impossible on top of blockchain. For example, decentralized email, where all the data is like stored on top of Ethereum and EthStorage, or decentralized mirror, decentralized medium, decentralized Twitter. A lot of exciting things and now become possible with all this technology roadmap. So yeah, that's something we are right now more focusing on this layer 1, layer 2 architecture of Ethereum.
Wow, that's really impressive, and I can tell, especially because Thread just launched and everyone is talking about, oh, how can we make the whole social media decentralized, and people starting to see the beauty of decentralized storage. And I think that's just something inevitable. We're gonna see this trend, sooner or later. Well, my next question is, well, we all aware of, like decentralized storage, this like new technology offers numerous benefits, perks, advantages, and it also comes with its own set of challenges and limitations. So what are some of the main challenges and limitations that you think decentralized storage in general is currently facing? Not your project, it's just the whole sector.
Yes, I would say from the big sector perspective, for example, Filecoin Army, all those famous projects, one big challenge is that the users are still much smaller than not to mention Web3, Web3, not to mention Web2, like versus Ethereum. And for example, on top of Filecoin, I know a lot of people complaining that there's a lot of meaningless data that is persisted on Filecoin, because Filecoin still issue a lot of token inflated to reward those storage providers, no matter what they store, which means that a lot of people just create garbage data, claim is stored data, and then collect the corresponding storage fee. But the token inflation is not an organic way to grow the ecosystem. It's because it just dilutes all the values of the existing token holders, while we need more organic external users be able to willing to use token to pay gas fee or storage fee and to consume it. So I think this is a very significant problems, not only to Filecoin Army, but also for a lot of other layer 1 projects once they issue their tokens to maintain the network. I don't want to list the names, but some of the most famous projects, I think they are suffering with this problem, how be able to make sure the token has sufficient organic utility value with a large amount of users. So that's why we are doing in different ways. A lot of people are saying, hey, you have a very wonderful technologies. We are very expert in DA, understanding the storage, smart contract. Why don't you build a single layer 1 to satisfy all the EthStorage features with a lot of other features that people are building, like ZK Snark? The answer is that creating such kind of layer 2 with new tokens will be very hard to bootstrap in this stage, especially to attract the users organically around the network. So that's the power of the Ethereum layer 2. On top of Ethereum layer 2, like Optimism and Optron, when they launch the network, they don't need their token. They just need to demonstrate their value first. And then once the value is well established, then the corresponding, no matter the governance token, what kind of token, is able now can basically create a value for them, and also be better to be able to receive the ecosystem feedback while all those like take DAO, all these tools to manage. So I think this is the much better ways to run the like storage projects, especially I believe this is perhaps the most challenging problems to all this not besides like a storage, but also a layer one projects. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing all those challenges that we are facing right now. I'm actually 100% signing you with this. Well, I can share my own view here. It's just, I think it's all boils down to the market demand, because now people, they're only able to see, well, due to the nascency of the industry, and people are able to see, you know, the token insurance, and people, it's like the industry still consists of like full of speculations. I think that probably that's the reason, like the underlying reason. Well, let's just talk about some, well, positive side of things. What kind of factors are fueling the demand for decentralized storage? And what do you think, what kind of things would be the potential drivers or catalysts can really boost the future growth of decentralized storage? Well, considering DeFi, well, the major catalyst was, yield farming and Uniswap v2, and also we are aware of how much restrictions or limitations we could have in traditional finance. So that's why we had DeFi summer, and it was really crazy, and we all witnessed that. So what do you think of that? What's your take on the potential drivers for the decentralized storage? Also, is there any other trend on your radar that you would like to share with everyone?
Yes. So I think from a lot of like application that we have observed these days, I think people are more and more aware of data ownership.
Yeah.
Like NFT is a very good example. People would like to say, hey, this is on that I can secure, and it should be always secure, just like some paintings painted by Picasso or like famous buildings, all these things that should be in terms of digital arms, and should be able to own permissionlessly by decentralized protocol. And this is a growing demand. And besides that, there's also demand of like make sure that we have a neutral internet, or neutrality. Sometimes we say, actually, this is some words that debate a lot when I was at Google, say, hey, how we are able to enable much better neutrality of the internet as a public goods, rather than like politics can like manipulate a lot of like I would say the applications. So I think blockchain and with smart contract, and also the decentralized storage solution that put them together, is a very better platform to offer better internet with a better neutrality. And actually, decentralization is also designed for neutrality, which basically everybody is able to participate in the network, no matter it is a regular person, or a rich guy, or maybe a high level governance officials. So this is something that we are really amazed by the future of the Web3, or future of the internet. So taking a recently hot debate, like for example, the Twitter and Threads. So a lot of people like complain Twitter has all these kind of like restrictions. For example, when sometimes I paste some technical articles, and I don't know why I just being blocked by Twitter, say, hey, you cannot post these articles. And and then I don't think there's no way to, for example, to once it's being blocked, and there's no way to, very hard to unblock, because it is controlled by a highly centralized, monopolized company. While with the internet, we have better organization, we have DAO, we have better way to communicate with community. Also, we also have a way better way to censor. I'm not so saying censor. I'm so to address those kind of like a spam, all those spamming issue. So with them, we can use token, all kinds of things. Then we are building a kind of better way to organize the whole internet, also democratize the internet resources rather than hosted by those centralized companies like servers and also their websites. Now we are able to fully build all these things in a much better collaborative ways on top of Web3. And that's something that we believe we will create a lot of demands, also based in terms of more powerful computational power of the current blockchain, and at the same time also for storage. So this is something we believe that with more and more such kind of demand is growing, people will find a better way to solve this problem on top of Web3.
Yeah, like you said, I think people start, realizing the whole fact of, well, I don't want to say they're manipulating our life, but they're very much manipulating our life. I'm just gonna say that out loud with all those, big data technology, with all those, with the way they collect your informations, with all those. They do implement a lot of policy on, the post and everything you talk, you speak. So I would say people starting to get the beauty of the decentralized storage. And so I would say decentralization is definitely going to be inevitable. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise, and thank you so much for sharing your insights, especially your project, and looking forward to seeing more innovations on EthStorage. Thank you so much for your time, Joe.
Many thanks for the invitation, and I'm super happy to share EthStorage in the show, and also feel free to reach me, my Twitter, and also our email or Discord to share your thoughts on EthStorage and how we are be able to build better Web3.
Will do, for sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.